Hey there, HEXO traders and investors. It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. It is Thursday, March 2nd. Hope you're well. It's a brand new month. And in this video, going to be discussing HEXO Corp. Some news that came out, not new by any means, but as you know, I've been on vacation, been in Mexico on a boys trip. Just got back a couple days ago, but just getting caught up on things, Airbnb and other adult-like responsibilities, but wanted to come on, cover this very important topic. It's going to be about HEXO offering growing services, helping small suppliers. Going to do some technical analysis. We'll look at the chart. There was some developments. We had a weekly uptrend confirmed, but there's still some things that we need to do to be confident that the bottom is in. So we're going to discuss all that and more. Before we get to it though, if you could smash the like, as always, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. Help get this video out to as many people as possible. And tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Like I mentioned, on a boys trip in Mexico, had some nice relaxation, some rest and relaxation. So R&R, if you haven't done that, I encourage you to do so. It's very easy to get caught up in the markets, and markets are about keeping us emotional, and any too much exposure to any emotion is really not healthy. So you want to make sure that you're kind of clearing your mind. Let me know in the comments below if you got any trips planned down south. Actually thinking of maybe going to Jamaica here in a couple months as well. So going into this article here, before we jump into the chart and some other information, HEXO offers contract growing services to leverage capacity and help small suppliers. So we're starting to notice a trend here. This article is from the Ottawa Business Journal. We're starting to notice a trend here that HEXO is probably going to be the preferred manufacturer in the space, and really one of the lead cultivators in the space as well, just from an innovation standpoint and from a pure scale standpoint. So this article here from the Ottawa Business Journal reads, amid restructuring and layoffs in the MJ industry, Gatineau-based HEXO Corp is offering contract growing services to smaller companies in a bid to create a win-win situation. And we want all boats to rise together, right? HEXO, I think, is doing a great job helping the industry. They've been a leader and an innovator in the space. They created the value segment. They're really just helping, combat the illicit market as well. But this is just a testament to how, professional and the vision that HEXO has, right? They want the whole industry to succeed together. And there's a reason why everything's down 80 to 90% from February 2021 highs, is because the industry is being held back and it all moves together. It doesn't matter. It's not dependent on whether or not you're profitable, unprofitable. We've seen that in the US. We've seen that with retailers, right? Even retailers that are profitable, even the companies in Canada that are profitable, whether it be producers, retailers, even the producers and retailers in the US, some of them that are profitable, they're continuing to see their stock prices plummet because the whole sector moves together. So it's great to see that they're looking to look for a win-win situation and help the overall industry, right? We want this whole industry to flourish. It's medicine of the future, and we're still in the first inning. HEXO CEO and President Charlie Bowman told Ottawa Business Journal that the move benefits smaller firms that no longer have enough full-time staff to maintain a consistent supply of MJ to meet market demand by allowing them to leverage HEXO's cultivation and processing capabilities. We know there's been a ton of layoffs, not just in the MJ industry, in the big tech industry as well, and we're in recessionary times, so it's not, this is sort of to be expected. The strategy is part of HEXO's move to right-size its own capacity and product lines as it copes with an uncertain and competitive market. In June 2022, HEXO announced its cost-cutting measures, including the reduction of 450 jobs, basically in half. In December 2022, the company reported a $52.1 million net loss for the quarter ending October 31st, 2022, compared to a net loss of more than $116.9 million a year earlier. In January, HEXO reported that it had regained compliance with the minimum bid price requirements on the NASDAQ after becoming non-compliant with its closing bid price for common shares listed on the NASDAQ dropped below $1 for 30 consecutive trading days. Bowman took over as CEO in May of 2022 after a period of high turnover in the company's C-suite. Under Bowman's leadership, HEXO scaled down from a capacity of 400 metric tons to 205 tons. We took down capacity, we right-sized the business, and that takes a few quarters to go through. We will see some of that going on right now to get business down to where every sale is profitable, Bowman said. When the price reset in September to January, a lot of growers were underwater, Bowman explained. Our cost of scale allowed them to be able to have products that are profitable business in the market, and it allowed us to do what we do quite well, and that is cultivate, grow, and focus on our core brands. Bowman said that the contract growing strategy is focused on smaller boutique or craft licensed producers in the Quebec market. He says HEXO is currently growing about 130 tons and has the capacity to supply 35 to 40 tons to smaller firms. The move is in addition to HEXO's existing partnerships with Tilray Brands and Entourage Health, which we know HEXO signed a deal. This was back on November 15th. HEXO and Entourage Health agreed to sign a long-term supply deal. And again, this is just a testament to, the capabilities from their cultivation and processing standpoints, right? Bowman says it also aligns with market demand for a more balanced approach to growing MJ, focusing on the ratio of tetrahydrocannabinol, so THC, the psychoactive component, and also CBD. CBD, the non-intoxicating MJ compound associated with therapeutic benefits such as relaxation, reduced anxiety, and pain relief. That's the beauty of this. The industry is so new, right? We're still in the first inning, like I've always been saying. We have the ability now through the next generation over the next, let's call it 18 months, of generating these next rounds of new cultivars and commercializing them. That's going to reset more of the craft boutique growth in 2023, 2024, 2025, and beyond, Bowman said. Despite recent setbacks in the MJ market, including significant layoffs at Canopy Growth in Smiths Falls, Bowman sees reason for optimism. He says the perception of MJ as being only recreational purpose is changing to include its therapeutic use by broader demographic, including the elderly and millennials. That's where Canada is so far ahead of the rest of the world, and we now have the ability to take the next step. Bowman said, we can help a lot of brands put great products on the market at really good prices. Bowman says licensed producers will continue to see their business models tested by oversupply of MJ in the Canadian market and not enough export opportunities to offset the excess supply. While he says he expects more mergers, consolidations, and acquisitions in the MJ industry in the coming year, he feels HEXO is well positioned in the market. So this is great to see, and looking forward to hearing from Bowman again. Hopefully we're getting earnings call. But again, are you starting to see this trend where, Soleil Slims, the new Slims from Tilray, that's utilizing the Redecan pre-roll tech. We know that T2.0, so the Tyson line, they're going to be introducing some readies in that format as well with the legendary OG. And also T2.0 flow-through has launched in Ontario. Shout out to Tony XL. They're on Reddit, but you can see here this is legendary OG in 1 ounce format. Like I said, 21.9% THC, and it's starting to roll out in Ontario. Won't likely be long before you start to see that in your local region as well. But just as a reminder, HEXO does have earnings tentative for March 16th, so that's 2 weeks from today. EPS is forecasted at negative 0.0233, so getting very close to positive. This is in Canadian dollars, as they report in Canadian dollars, and forecast for revenues 41.7 million. And the reason why that's been declining is because getting rid of, not every sale is good revenue, right? You want to be profitable. So they're getting rid of products and brands that weren't selling, that generating profit. They're focusing on the ones with high margins like the Readies. And I think that the new TNT lines, the new craft lines up to 36% THC are really going to create some momentum and some nice growth there. And we could potentially see positive adjusted EBITDA. We know Aurora just did it. We know Organogram just did it. I think that the next HEXO could very well be next, maybe not this quarter, but next quarter, and then the potential for EPS positive over the next 2-3 quarters, in my opinion. But watch for earnings to potentially be positive adjusted EBITDA, which would be huge for the stock. So taking a look at the chart, we've seen record monthly volume a couple of months ago in the month of January. And in February, we had some record volume as well. And usually volume precedes price, and we should start to see the price rebound in the same direction. And sure enough, volume preceded price. We got a ton amount of volume. We had nowhere near starting the monthly bounce, and then the next month we started the monthly bounce. So again, volume usually precedes price. We had an uptick in volume, record monthly volume on the NASDAQ, and then the price started to follow. So we had the high at 178. We broke that, and we now have a new high at 185. So we started the monthly bounce, but right now it's a monthly inside bar. So resistance is at 185 and support's at 132. If we lose 132, we start monthly consolidation and we look for a higher low compared to 90 cents, and then potentially change the monthly trends. If we can get a higher low and higher high, get back into a monthly uptrend, we'll be confident that the bottom is in, right? But again, we need to see this across the whole space, not just, Canadian LPs. We need to see MSOs in the US, and we need to see retailers and ETFs change their monthly trend as well to be confident that the whole MJ sector bottom is in, right? We can't have HEXO in a monthly uptrend with everything else in monthly downtrends, because as we know, doesn't matter if you're profitable, unprofitable, doesn't matter if you're US, Canadian, retailer, non-retailer, the sector moves together, right? Doesn't matter down to the second, the day, the minute, but weeks and months and years, usually they follow the same cycle, right? In the same bull and bear markets, right? Either you're in a bull market or bear market. So we're going to be watching if we continue to break resistances, and if we break resistance at 185, we continue the monthly bounce for the second month in a row. But something I want to highlight here is on the weekly time frame, we did confirm the weekly uptrend. We had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So once we broke 178, that confirmed the weekly uptrend. So now the most key support is 132. If we lose 132, we lose the weekly uptrend. Then we start monthly consolidation. And right now, look at EMA 12 on the weekly time frame. Again, Ever since we lost from the highs there at February 2021, since we've corrected 96%, or sorry, over 99%, a lot of names like Tilray are 96%, but HEXO's down 99% from February 2021 highs. And we had the weekly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and look what has been resistance ever since. Weekly EMA 12, that yellow line, resistance, 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 got above it, failed to close above it though. And we wicked, and then resistance, resistance, big drop down after the reverse split. And then here we are, resistance, resistance, resistance. If we can get a weekly candle close, we did it last week. So we're starting to see a little bit of a precursor to a bigger move on the horizon. So again, as long as we can maintain this weekly uptrend, get a weekly close over that EMA 12, I think we could be set up for some decent activity. But something I want to bring up here is the fact that SPY, the S&P 500, is starting monthly consolidation. We lost the low of the last month. This could be a potential inverse head and shoulders. So don't be surprised if we pull back to 360s, maybe 375. On this monthly consolidation, we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well. So just be aware that this could spell headwinds for HEXO in the short to medium term. And again, if HEXO were to lose that support there at 132, we would start monthly consolidation very similar to SPY, and we would look for that monthly uptrend to confirm. But right now, SPY starting monthly consolidation. We'll look for a monthly higher low and then a higher high. If we can get back into a monthly uptrend, that's going to be good for MJ and HEXO specifically. And obviously, if we start to pull back more on the S&P 500, that's going to be headwinds as opposed to tailwinds on HEXO. But we are looking good here on the weekly time frame. We're closing consecutively over the 10-week moving average. We're starting to see that curl. We're bullish on the stochastic, and the MACD is bullish as well with the black above the red. And if we take a look at the weekly moving averages, we have nothing nearby until 312. And even on the monthly time frame, we have no resistance now until $3.57. So from current levels on the monthly time frame on HEXO, we have no resistance for about 125% of upside from these levels. And then, like I said, that 50 weekly there at 312. And we also have the 200-day moving average there at 247. We could potentially see, and look at that 50-day moving average as well. So very, very strong resistance. And we're starting to finally close above it and confirm it as support. So what I would like to see now is a weekly candle close over the EMA 12. And I would like to see us get back above that 200 daily moving average. And then if we can see the 50 come up below the 200 and cross, that would be a golden cross. Last time that happened, like I said, price was at around $40 and then ran all the way up to about 150. Then we had the death cross with the 50 above the 200 crossed, and price when that happened was around $60, obviously factoring in post split, and then dropped to 90 cents. So now we're seeing another massive buy signal potentially over the next few weeks and couple of months. And like I said, lines up well with their earnings. So we'll see whether or not they can beat. We've missed 5 quarters in a row, so we're likely are due for a beat here in terms of revenue. Shouldn't be that hard to do with only 41.7 million forecasted. And like I said, watch for potential positive adjusted EBITDA this quarter or the next, and then for potential EPS positive over the next 2 to 3 quarters. But I'm looking forward to the earnings here in a couple of weeks. Again, it's going to be tentative for March 16th, but we'll want to see official confirmation from HEXO on that. But like I said, I think that the company is starting to take all of the right steps in the right direction to right the ship. And those that weather the storm over the next couple of years looking towards U.S. legalization are going to be the ones that are the true winners. But we can start to see the pattern right now that HEXO is one of the preferred manufacturers, cultivators, and processors of MJ. They are 100% pure MJ play, and in my opinion, offer the highest risk, but highest reward as well. As we know, Apple almost went bankrupt, Amazon almost went bankrupt, right? Tesla almost went bankrupt, but it's usually the ones that offer the most risk that offer the most reward. And I've never been more confident in HEXO or in the space. It's just going to be a matter of patience and those weathering the storm until we can get out of this bear market and into a new bull market, which I think will be the biggest bull market to date. Going to end it there, though, it's Rob with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. If you could smash a like if you think I earned it today, let me know in the comments below what you think, what we could potentially expect for earnings next week. What do you think of this news with HEXO supplying? Do you really think that HEXO is the leader in the space in terms of manufacturing and innovating and cultivation? Would love to hear from you as always. Going to end it there, though. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you in the next video.